This evening, tragic smash-up on the Linden-Soosdike Highway leaves 4 dead. A dozen maternal deaths recorded for the year 2016. The first 2017 sitting of the National Assembly was today. Government raises motor vehicle compliance fee from $5,000 to $25,000. In the region, in Trinidad and Tobago, PAN players on Wednesday intensified their protest, calling for the removal of PAN Trinbago President Keith Diaz. And internationally, the hack of the U.S. 2016 presidential election results in the Obama administration expelling Russian diplomats and closing down some of their government offices.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Ramvelt Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with Rihanna Ahmed.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel as well as our website, safetvguyana.com. Join us. We begin our newscast with the sad news of a horrific head-on collision that occurred last evening on the Soosdike-Linden Highway. This took the lives of 4 people. They are 25-year-old Dexter Griffith, a mechanic attached to Roraima Airways, David Primus, 52, of Self-Help Amelia's Ward, Linden, Raul Aaron, and Laron Mendonça, all of Linden. Reports are that the 2 cars were heading in opposite directions when they collided head-on. This occurred, just before 7 hours last evening. The crash resulted in most of the persons being pinned in their respective vehicles. Despite the desperate efforts of the fire service, police force, and public-spirited citizens, 3 of the 4 men died before they could have been freed. Laron Mendonça, however, died early this morning. About 5 other persons, including a pregnant woman, remain hospitalized. Given the rainy season, drivers were repeatedly warned not to speed and to exercise more caution along the highway. Linden's Mayor Carwin Holland was also present at the scene. He told reporters that this tragic incident has plunged the entire town into mourning.
Again, we have to reiterate our calls for more lighting on the highway, calls for more caution on the highway, and it's a very sad situation at the moment. We need to see more care in using the road, and we don't know the circumstances surrounding the accident, but what I must say is that at this time, let's give the family some support at this time.
Investigations into this tragic incident are continuing. The National Assembly had its first sitting for the year 2017 today, Thursday, with Speaker of the House, Dr. Barton Scotland, reading the 3 new appointments of Ministers Amna Ali, Walda Lawrence, and Dr. George Norton. Andrew Weeks reports that the Speaker had to rebuke an opposition member of Parliament for making unsavory remarks on the appointments. Here's more.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Barton Scotland, in his opening remarks, began by welcoming the parliamentarians back to the House.
Our duty to this National Assembly, in our service to the people of Guyana, and opportunity to demonstrate with fervency and zeal our continued commitment to that service. All honorable members return here today somewhat rested, if not fully so. And you may, honorable members, have engaged some of the period of your absence from here in introspection. We look forward to benefiting from any new insights in relation to our service here, which may have struck honorable members in the interim. Welcome to all honorable members, and a happy new year to all and to those dear to us.
The Speaker also recognized the new senior counsel in the House, that is Attorney General Basil Williams.
Honorable members, our esteemed Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Honorable Basil Williams, is deserving of congratulations in recognition of the honor of senior counsel which was conferred on him. In recognition of his place as leader of the Bar of Guyana, this honor is duly merited. On your behalf, and on my own behalf, I proffer congratulations to you, sir.
Dr. Scotland then read the new appointments of ministers given to him by the leader of government business.
Honourable members, by instrument dated 4th January 2016, the Honourable Minister Dr. George Aubrey Norton was reassigned Minister of Social Cohesion. Honourable Minister Walter Ann Lawrence was reassigned or redesignated Minister of Health, and Honourable Minister Amna Ali was redesignated Honourable Minister of Social Cohesion. Of Social Protection, I beg your pardon. These appointments date from...
But it was PPC opposition MP Nigel Dharamlal who was given the okay to speak on the second reading on the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Amendment Bill, who went off script and made the following remarks on the reappointed ministers, which was objected by the Speaker. Listen.
Congratulating the honourable ministers, the new Minister of Public Health, the new Minister of Social Protection, and the new Minister of Social Cohesion. One of the things, Mr. Speaker, that I thought would have happened in 2017 as well, is that in addition to these appointments, noting all that has happened with the 2017 budget, that there would have been a reshuffle or a disappointment of the Minister of Finance.
Honourable Member Mr. Dharamlal, I really do hope, I understand you indulged in introspection, and I understand the direction of it. I thank you.
Thank you,
but I must tell you that we will stay within the ambit of what we were obliged to do.
Certainly, Mr.
If we depart from it, I hold myself free to ask you to take your seat.
No problem.
So be focused on what you're doing, please. Thank you.
I'm very focused, Mr. Speaker. I'm actually warming up.
Andrew Wicks reporting for Channel 2 Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. Also happening in Parliament, motor vehicle compliance fees are set to be increased to $25,000. As Minister of Finance Winston Jordan read the second reading of the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Amendment Bill 2016. That's Bill number 25 of 2016, which was published on December 20th last. Senior reporter Andrew Weeks reports that the PPP Civic told the House that the bill will be a burden on the poorer class of Guyanese.
Finance Minister Winston Jordan told Parliament at its first sitting of the year that citizens seeking a certificate of compliance to transfer motor vehicles will now have to pay $25,000.
The bill seeks to amend the fourth schedule of the Principal Act by A. increasing fees for the transfer of ownership possession of motor vehicles, B. introducing fees for the issuance of driving permits issued to licensed drivers residing abroad and who temporarily reside or visiting Guyana, and C. introducing fees for the issuance of letters of authenticity to applicants requiring verification of their driver's license.
The bill was first introduced in 1982. Before one can apply for a compliance certificate, his taxes must be up to date. Minister Jordan explained to the House why the government decided to raise the compliance fee.
Now, what has happened over the years is that many persons, instead of applying for this certificate of compliance, merely just transferred possession of the said vehicle by way of irrevocable powers of attorney, or sought to effect transfer of title to the courts of Guyana by means of specific performance, thus attempting to circumvent this whole approach to trying to trap those who have been delinquent in their taxes, in their payment of taxes. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, it is not unheard of for improper attempts in the form of inducements to be made to staff of the Guyana Revenue Authority in an effort to procure this compliance certificate. Thus, the abolishment of this requirement for certificate of compliance from the Commissioner General of the Revenue Authority for processing a transfer or ownership or possession of motor vehicles will remove these loopholes, while at the same time reducing the burden on taxpayers by removing the duplication of documents submitted by taxpayers to the Revenue Authority.
Minister Jordan explains more on why government made the decision.
The bill also seeks to recover part of the cost of processing temporary driver's permits to persons residing overseas but who are visiting the country temporarily, and also letter of authenticity for verification of driver's licenses. Each year, the Revenue Authority processes about 4,000 of these transactions. These transactions, of course, require human and other effort and resources, all at the present moment that are delivered at no cost to the recipient. But these services are not free, and therefore the deduction of fees at this stage is not necessarily to offset the full cost, but is to share the cost between the government and the recipient of these documents.
But the opposition feel that the bill will be a burden on the poor class of citizens and beckons the government to withdraw the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Amendment Bill.
But, Mr. Speaker, this is a worrying sign of this government, that it continues to create more hardships for people, irrespective of the amount of fees that we see increased here. For example, a motorcycle, the registration has moved from 500 to 5,000. For other vehicles, from 1,000 to 25,000. That is the compliance, the cost of the compliance, or 2%, whichever is greater. Mr. Speaker, a valuation of 1.25 million would be equivalent to a compliance fee of 25,000. Any other vehicle above 1,250,000 will attract a compliance fee of 2% of the value of that vehicle.
Minister Jordan told the House that the government feels that the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Amendment Bill is a win-win on both sides of the fence. Andrew Weeks reporting for Channel 2 Headline News.
Coming up on Headline News after the break, City Hall to remove those living on government reserves in order to improve drainage, and 12 maternal deaths recorded in 2016.
Fly always. Always something new.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Wayne Pressure Pumps out of the U.S. is the ideal solution for your water woes. At Sylvie's Variety Store, we bring you the top line of automatic pressure tank pumps ideal for building offices and residential homes. Just turn on the faucet and pressure at your fingertips. The Wayne collection includes pool pumps, well pumps, and utility submersible pumps. Parts and accessories available. Sylvie's Variety Store, bringing you the quality you deserve every time.
Seems Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princeton Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7.
You had accused coalition government of shifting the goalpost from financial to technical reasons for opposing the Amaila Falls hydro project, while at the same time signaling that the People's Progressive Party was willing to hold talks about recommendations to revive the more than US $800 million project. Minister Carl Greenwich, at his most recent end-of-year press conference, said Cabinet need to decide on what they need to go forward with on the Amaila Falls project before any talks with the opposition can happen.
I can't tell you about the model. I'll tell you what I recommend to the Cabinet. Namely, that the Cabinet looks at this proposal and agrees a framework within which the others will be dealt with. Arrives at a conclusion as to what to do about Amaila or any similar base supply. Once the Cabinet has a reasonably clear position on this, it becomes easier to hold discussions with partners, including the PPP. And after that is clear, because you can't go with each minister running in a different direction as to where he wants to go to meet with the PPP. So that position has to be cleared up on the government side. Figures have to be brought, reviewed, and then after discussion, we can see whether we can go forward.
You will remember that it was the Norwegian consultancy firm Time has identified several potential technical deficiencies that it recommends should be addressed. The opposition leader's office signals that the PPP is willing to hold talks about the future of the project before the search begins for the new investor. Minister Carl Greenwich feels the PPC may have its own agenda on the issue.
I can't speak for the PPP, so I don't know whether, notwithstanding this now report, which reinforces an earlier report that was made by the IDB, whether the PPP is now going to be willing to start afresh and say, okay, well, we will look dispassionately at the proposals you have. I can't guarantee that part because I don't think anybody could speak for Mr. Jagdeo, and he seems to be the only voice of consequence on the PPP side in relation to this matter. But what we can try to do on the APNU-FC side is to clear in our minds what is needed to go forward, and then that can be the basis for discussion. And it will be a package along the lines informed by the President's program on greening Guyana, green energy. I don't think anyone won't have a
Greenwich also laments that the government green agenda will set the pace for renewable energy in Guyana to benefit all Guyanese, and that the PPC's agenda is to score political points, which is not good for the country.
All of Georgetown, Demerara, is to do that in time. The minister will fashion that program for you, but what I'm saying to you from the analytical side, from where we started, and from our commitment to a responsible renewable energy program, green energy program, it will be a package that consists of many elements. It's going to have a major base hydro, a major base for the Demerara interconnected system, and other elements as financing can be secured and in accordance with the development. Hinterland areas, for example, the government, I think, has already indicated that a number of these hinterland areas it is going to do standalone hydro, standalone wind power, and others to deal with those needs.
Andrew Wicks reporting for Channel 2 Headline News.
For the year 2016, the Ministry of Public Health has recorded a dozen maternal deaths. This points to a decrease in such cases compared to previous years. During a year-end press conference last week, former Subject Minister Dr. George Norton boasted of a number of new measures that have been implemented to tackle maternal deaths in the country.
The increase in the number of medical evacuation in 2016 is primarily as a result of the ministry's position on the transfer of all high-risk pregnancies from the hinterland region in an effort to reduce maternal mortality and morbidity.
According to Norton, while some of these deaths were purportedly unavoidable, there are reports that others could have been prevented. This has prompted the ministry to start looking more seriously at sanctions for errant medical practitioners. Junior Minister of Public Health, Dr. Karen Cummings, told reporters that 2 persons are currently being investigated by the Medical Council, while one other has already been reprimanded in relation to a botched abortion. Despite all 2016 challenges, including that nasty storage bond fiasco, Cummings maintains that the health sector has had a good year.
2016, 11 hospitals were accredited with baby-friendly status. Of significance is that Guyana is the only country in the Anglophone Caribbean with hospitals accredited with the baby-friendly hospital status, one which creates immense national pride.
Meanwhile, to further ensure sanctions are properly administered, a disciplinary committee. In order to ensure that sanctions are properly administered, a disciplinary committee has been established. We tell you now that Mayor of Georgetown, Patricia Chase Green, says the council has a plan to see squatters living on city reserves, like those at East and West La Penitence Front Road, be removed. Andrew Weeks reports that now that the rains are here, council continues to find it difficult to clean major canals around the city.
On the East and West Front Road, even in South Ramvelt areas, citizens have been living on city reserves for years. Some have seen it as a right to build their homes there, and no one dare remove them. But Mayor Patricia Chase Green said this situation must come to an end. I spoke with the mayor in her office on the first working day of 2017, that's yesterday, and Chase Green said it is a matter council will address. Because
last year when the president addressed the council, he spoke of us forming a national planning committee for cities. And we will have to engage all those stakeholders, Ministry of Housing, Ministry of Social Protection, and so. And that meeting is scheduled for sometime January. Central Housing all over, where all those agencies will come together and we will have an agreed document as how we move forward for the development of Georgetown and other cities, because there are other towns being developed.
removing persons off city reserves will not happen in a day. But when asked why persons continue to build on city reserve, knowing the danger it poses and the hindrance city workers face from squatters to clean those canals, Mayor Green shares our opinion.
There are some persons, if you do the census, that were given house lots and land by the prior government. They would have moved off, but a son or a daughter now occupies that space. Must the cycle continue to go on like that in a city? I don't think it should. And so the National Planning Commission will make firm recommendations for those removal, total removal, that when that person moves off, the house is taken down. And that's the only way you can maintain that the reserve, so that the drag line could go along the embankment to clear. I mean, you would have had a similar experience on Lamaha, the railway line. Those persons were totally removed after a period of time. That is what has to happen in the other areas. Totally removal of them. As soon as you move, you take the house down.
These canals have not been cleared for years. Houses building so close is dangerous to children living there, even adults. Now that the rains are here, flooding will continue and reptiles will come out to hunt for food. This newscast is calling on parents to clean their area and keep the children away from the canals. Andrew Weeks reporting for Channel 2 Headline News.
Still ahead, our regional and international news.
Fly always. Always something new.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m.
Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's for dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
In news from the region now. In Trinidad and Tobago, PAN players on Wednesday took their protest to PAN Trinbago's Park Street office in Port of Spain, calling for the removal of PAN Trinbago President Keith Diaz. C News has more.
At around midday, a group of PAN men expressed concerns of outstanding money owed for Panorama 2016 and their dissatisfaction with not being included in the planning for Panorama 2017. Panist Dale Gulston maintained that nothing is being done in the best interest of PAN men.
Honestly, we came here today to let the management know, here what's up. We want you guys out. Total. We fed up. Let's put in a interim committee, all right, and deal with our Panama. Deal with what is right for us.
Chairman and the manager of Power Stars Steel Orchestra, Gregory Lindsay, called on the government to intervene in the decision, as he said, PAN is everyone's business.
April 20th, 2016, the Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago made some regard remarks at Sovereign Trace in Laventille regarding Panorama and its management and everything to bring us to this point where we're at here. When are you going to wake up, Dr. Prime Minister? Because I tell you this, sir, and not so in a threatening way, not one note will play for Panorama.
C News understands after a meeting was held with Pan Trinbago's President Keith Diaz this afternoon, it was promised that all outstanding monies would be paid to regional managers on Thursday and that a meeting on a way forward for 2017 will be held at the Port of Spain City Hall on Saturday.
And internationally, in addition to sanctions, the Obama administration has expelled 35 Russian diplomats and will close 2 Russian government compounds in Maryland and New York in response to the country's hack of the 2016 presidential election. CNN has our story.
Tonight, President Obama ordering strong and far-reaching retaliation against Russia for its unprecedented cyber attack on the U.S. election system. The U.S. is imposing sanctions against 9 Russian individuals and entities, including the Russian spy agency, the FSB, and the Russian military intelligence unit, the GRU, both believed to be behind the hack. The U.S. is ordering 35 Russian intelligence operatives and their families in California and Washington, D.C. out of the country within 72 hours and shutting down 2 Russian government-owned compounds, one in Maryland and another in New York. The president also declassifying intelligence on Russian cyber activity to help networks in the U.S. and abroad, quote, identify, detect, and disrupt Russian cyber attacks. In spite of this and the U.S. intelligence community's assessment that Russia ordered the election hacking, President-elect Trump just last night continued to dismiss both Moscow's involvement and the importance of the hacking at all.
I think we ought to get on with our lives. I think that computers have complicated lives very greatly. The whole, age of computer has made it where nobody knows exactly what's going on.
Senator John McCain traveling this week with other senators in the Baltic region, where countries are most worried about Russian aggression, responding today to Trump's nonchalant remarks with a sarcastic jab.
I agree with President-elect that we need to get on with our lives without having our elections being affected by any outside influence, especially Vladimir Putin, who is a thug and a murderer.
In a statement before the announcement, Russia promised its own retaliation, saying if Washington takes new hostile steps, it will receive an answer. Any actions against Russian diplomatic missions in the United States will immediately backfire at U.S. diplomats in Russia. The U.S. intelligence community concluded that Russian President Vladimir Putin personally approved of the hacking, in part to hurt Hillary Clinton's campaign. This, according to intelligence, congressional, and other administration sources. Earlier this week, Senator Lindsey Graham, who's traveling with McCain, told CNN in an interview that Congress is planning its own payback.
What are you going to do, Senator Graham and Senator McCain, if he doesn't change his tune, in effect, on Russia?
There are 100 United States senators. I would say that 99 of us believe the Russians did this, and we're going to do something about it. Along with Senator McCain, after this trip's over, we're going to have the hearings, and we're going to put sanctions together that hit Putin as an individual and his inner circle for interfering in our election. And they're doing it all over the world, not just in the United States.
And that's Channel 2 Headline News for